Back on the record on State versus Loyd, he's present with his attorney. State Attorney's Office is present. Let's bring the next panel in, please. Boy, this is... You do. Have a seat, everyone. Right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Circuit Court. I'm Judge Marquez. I'll be the presiding judge in this case. Is anyone having trouble hearing me through this mask? No? Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. So, for the record, I have removed the mask so that the jurors can hear me clearly. All right, you're here for jury selection. This is a criminal case, and I will be telling you more about the case and about this process in just a moment. Before I get to that, let me go through some preliminary matters with you. You may notice that there's a TV camera in the room. This case will have media attention throughout the trial. Just forget about it. Just ignore it. They're not going to film you. They don't film the jurors. To further preserve your privacy, we've given you all paddles with your seat numbers on them, and we're going to refer to you by your seat numbers, not by your names. Additionally, with those paddles, if you can hold them up when you're answering questions, it's so much easier for us to identify who it is that's talking. There are 60 of you here in the room with us, so sometimes it can become difficult, especially for those back rows, for us to see the juror. Just hold your paddle up long enough for me to identify. I will say out loud seat number 2, whatever it is. So before I go into any more details about the case, let me introduce everyone in the courtroom and tell you what it is we do. As I said, I'm Judge Marquez. I'm the presiding judge in this trial. It's my job to make sure that the law is followed and the jury is instructed on what the law is that they need to follow at each stage of the proceedings. Additionally, I rule on evidence, what's admissible, what isn't, and on objections during the trial. Is there anyone here who recognizes me or knows me from anywhere? If you do, raise your paddles. Not seeing any. The two ladies in front of me are the court clerks, these two ladies right here. Their job is to keep track of the evidence and exhibits during the trial, any paperwork and documents that are produced during the trial. Is there anyone here who knows or recognizes either one of our two court clerks? I'm not seeing any paddles. All right. The folks in the uniform throughout the courtroom, these are members of the Orange County Sheriff's Department. They are court deputies, court security. They're here every day in all the courtrooms and in the courthouse. As I said, they provide security. They're also your liaison to me during jury selection. If at any time during a break you have some matter that needs to be brought to my attention, let one of the deputies know and they'll let me know. Is there anyone here who recognizes or knows any of these deputies? I'm not seeing any paddles. The lady in the front with the long hair, the black jacket, she's our court reporter. She's typing away. She's facing you. She's typing away, taking down every word that's said in this courtroom. We're required to have an accurate transcript of what happens during trials. It's her job to take everything down. You're going to make her life so much easier if you will speak up when you're answering questions so she can hear you. And if you use words when you're answering questions. And by that I mean the following things make no sense and the court reporter can't take them down. Shaking your head yes or no, which we all do. She can't take that down. Mm-hmm, uh-huh, and look exactly the same on a piece of paper when you type them out. We have no idea whether you said yes, no, or maybe. So that's what I mean by use words. Is there anyone here who knows or recognizes our court reporter? Nope. All right. Two gentlemen to my right, members of the State Attorney's Office. If you would introduce yourselves and read your witness list, please.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Rich Buxman.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Williams, and along with Mr. Buxman, we are the two assigned state attorneys designated to prosecute this case on behalf of the state of Florida. The list of witnesses that we may call as witnesses in this case are as follows. Dominique Daniels, Detective Brian Savelli with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, Takeshia Bryant, Timothy Stevens, Julia Johnson, Monica Pridgeon, Patricia Monahan, Sean Williams with the Orlando Police Department, Detective Pete Cadis, Orlando Police Department, Officer Brandon Thornton, Orlando Police Department, Captain Joseph Carter, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Antoine Thomas, Peter Patrick, Stacy Monroe, Orlando Police Department, Deputy Robert Roberts, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Paul Foster, Officer Paul Foster, Orlando Police Department, Deputy Chuck Ashworth, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Cleveland Jenkins, United States Marshal Service, Dr. Joshua Stephanie, Office of the Medical Examiner, Chantel Steyer, Orlando Police Department, Karen Livengood, Orlando Police Department, Detective Shane Overfield, Orlando Police Department, Darlene Dunn, Edward Vanderberg, Orlando Police Department, Gary Crosby, Orlando Police Department, Sean Johnson, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Andrew Harrison, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Dr. Sarah Zadovich, Office of the Medical Examiner, Richard Root, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Tracy Anderson, Officer Jonathan Cute, Orlando Police Department, Ronald Stewart, Dr. Michael Gamache, Detective Adam Crudo, Orlando Police Department, Dr. Michael Mayer, Marianne Mitchell, Deputy Rachel Ward, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Dr. Tanya Warner, Todd Erb, Earl Stokes, David Kennard, DeCarlos Shepard, Howard Kuhn, Orlando Police Department, Theophilus Edwards, Brian Stribby, Ronald Guerrero, Latoria Washington, Francine Thomas, Tammy Hughes, Dorothy Patterson, Tanya Cowan, Regina Hill, Dr. Robert Buck, Tamara Coker, James or Jim DePalma, Rodney Lamond, Dr. Emily Lazaro, Dr. Jeffrey Nagin, Dr. Jacqueline Olander, Dr. Greg Pritchard, Tony Rowland, Dr. Joseph Sesta, and Kevin Whitmore.
Thank you. Does anyone on the panel recognize Mr. Buxman, Mr. Williams, or any of the witnesses whose names were read out? Juror in seat number 52. Hold on, we're going to give you a microphone. Go ahead.
Can I just stand up?
Who do you recognize?
Dr. Robert Buck.
How do you recognize him?
We went to the same church and our kids were in Boy Scouts together.
Is this someone with whom you socialized, ma'am?
No,
Okay. Would you consider him to be a friend or an acquaintance?
an acquaintance.
And is there anything about your prior knowledge of him, relationship, that would cause you to have difficulty being fair and impartial as to his testimony?
I'm sorry, would you repeat that?
Yes. Is there anything about the fact that you know him that would cause you to have difficulty being fair and impartial as to his testimony?
No.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? All right. To my left is the defense team. Mr. Lenneman, if you'd introduce your team and read off your witness list, please.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Terry Lenneman, and along with Ted Burner and Kate O'Shea, we represent Markeith Loyd.
Your witness list?
Yes, ma'am. Patricia Lloyd, Dana Lloyd, Tanya Lloyd, Odell Jones, Barry Jacobs, Kiana Lloyd, Damian Moten, Derek Harris, Eric Dorsey, Glenn McCree, Lorraine Harp, Jackie McCree, Travona Lloyd, Jesse McCree, Shanika Bush, Trinika Hobbs, Tyron Wesley, Pat McKenna, Dan Doski, John Sawicki, Anna Cox, Dr. Jethro Toomer, Dr. Marvin Dunn, Dr. Michael Mayer, Dr. Joseph Wu, Dr. Jeffrey Colino, Dr. James Campbell, Dr. William Anderson.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Lenneman.
you, Judge.
Does anyone on the panel recognize Mr. Lenneman, Mr. Marrero, Ms. O'Shea, or any of the witnesses whose names were read out? I'm not seeing any placards. Does anyone recognize Mr. Lloyd? Hold him up so I can see him, folks. All right, thank you. All right, before I go into the details of today's selection, I have a couple of things to tell you. Number one, I'm sure that you are convinced that we went out and found the single most uncomfortable masks we could find and asked you to wear them today. We did not. We apologize. These masks are because we need to see your face when you're answering questions for us. You will not have to wear these if you're a juror. You can wear your regular masks, all right? And the acoustics in this courtroom are not very good. In fact, they might be described as terrible. So we're going to ask you to do two things that people hate: speak out loud in public and use a microphone while doing it. All right, juror in seat 52, do you need a hearing device? Would it be easier for you? We gave her one? Okay, great. All right. Anybody else who can't hear me still and needs a hearing device? All right. So we're going to be passing you a microphone so that we can hear you, because otherwise I can't hear what you're saying. We'll give you a hint that what we've learned from using this courtroom is if you hold the microphone off to the side when you're wearing these masks, it's easier to hear you. For some reason, the mic picks up your voice better. All right? All right, I'm now going to give you an instruction that is a court order. From this point forward, until you are discharged as a juror in this case, you may not listen to any stories, news stories about the case. You may not look at old news stories. You may not look up anything on the internet, Facebook, Instagram. You may not have any conversations with anyone about this case. If someone approaches you and asks and starts talking about it, you need to tell them you cannot talk to them and walk away. You are now in a bubble of silence about this case. I will sanction any juror who violates that rule. This includes spouses, children, parents, your best friend. You cannot talk about this case. There is a simple and very fundamental to our system of justice reason that we impose this rule on jurors. Your job as a juror, if you are selected in a case, is to sit over here in this box. Those chairs, by the way, are far more comfortable than the ones that you're sitting in, but you sit over here and you listen to the evidence that is introduced in this case, and your decision must be based solely on the evidence that is introduced in this case. It is fundamentally unfair to the parties, and both parties, the state and the defense, for jurors to be sitting in that jury room at the end of the case making decisions based on facts that nobody knows, or what they think are facts that nobody knows they are considering, that nobody's had a chance to challenge. You may be considering things that are incorrect. I know this may not be a surprise to you all, but things that appear on the news, Facebook, the internet are oftentimes wrong. Sometimes it's inadmissible evidence that the law of the state of Florida does not allow you to consider. You are violating our fundamental rules and our system of justice by considering that. And therefore, from this point forward, you are not to listen to anything about this case or talk to anyone about it or listen to anybody talk about it other than what you hear in this courtroom. This is a death penalty case, and by that I mean the state of Florida is requesting that if Mr. Loyd is convicted of first-degree murder, and only if he is convicted of first-degree murder, death become a possible sentence in this case. There is no automatic death penalty in the state of Florida. Because it is a death penalty case, we need to conduct jury selection over a period of days. We're going to start with today, where I'm the only one asking questions. I'm asking you some basic questions. Those of you who make it through today will be asked to return for individual questioning. You'll be given a specific date and time to do that. We bring you back in much smaller groups so you don't have to sit around all day waiting for us to call you into the courtroom. And at each stage of the proceedings, I'll give you the information you need to go through that stage of the proceedings. For today, what you need to know is the following. This case is expected to last 2 to 3 weeks. And by that, I mean from the day we pick the jury and start the actual trial. I do not know how long jury selection is going to take. I'm already scheduling for next week to continue jury selection. As soon as we have a jury picked, we will start, and from that point forward, it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks. I can't give you an exact time because I don't know what's going to happen in court. So we give you the longest possible time, which would be 3 weeks. The jury in this case is being sequestered. That means, it's not as bad as it sounds, that means that we're going to put you up in a hotel. You each get your own room. You don't have to share. Someone's going to clean that room for you and make your bed every day. You're going to be fed 3 meals a day. Someone's going to cook them, clean up after you. You are allowed to bring your electronics with you, laptops, phones, that sort of things. The deputies who will be with you at all times, including at the hotel, will have physical custody of those, but when we're done here in the courtroom, you may certainly use those to FaceTime or Zoom with your family and friends. You can do work, you can answer emails, do work. If you're a student, you can do coursework. It's all in a room where deputies are present, again, to make sure that no one is attempting to talk to you about this case or that you're not reading articles about the case or looking at the news. You will not be able to watch the news from the time that you're sequestered. We do make arrangements for you to see your close family, children, spouses, partners, close family. We work from 9:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday. If we have a witness on the stand, we would finish that witness. We may finish at 6 one day. And because you're sequestered, we also work on Saturdays from 9 to 1, trying to move the trial along at a good pace. Okay, having told you all that, I have some questions for you folks. You may have other information for me other than the questions. I'm just asking you certain questions today. I need you to not share information or answer anything other than the question I ask you. If I'm asking for information, obviously share it. All right, starting, and I'm going to go by rows because there's too many of you in here to do it any other way. Starting with, on my left, jurors 1 through 7, is there anyone in that group whose employer does not pay them to be when you're on jury duty? Juror in seat number 7? Yes, sir.
Yes, I work for myself, and just being here already is a little bit of a hardship, but I've done this before, so I understand doing it. But I have work scheduled next week with customers/clients, and anything that goes past today would be...
All right, sir, hold on.
Yes.
If you are not working, do you have any income?
No.
If you don't have that income, can you pay your bills if you don't have income for 3 weeks?
No.
All right, thank you. Jurors 8 through 15. Anybody whose employer does not pay them. Juror in seat number 8. Yes, ma'am.
I'm just current. I don't work right now. I'm kind of in between jobs.
Okay. So are you looking
Oh.
for work, or are you just?
Yeah,
right now?
I'm starting a new job, but I'm okay financially.
Okay, when do you start your new job?
It's more contractual, so
Okay,
it's flexible.
so it's not anything that would interfere with your ability to serve as a juror?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Someone else raised their paddle. Juror in seat number 11, yes, ma'am. Do you get paid by your employer?
No.
And if you're not paid, can you pay your bills?
Yes.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else in that row? 13. Do you get paid?
To my knowledge, no, I do not.
And if you're not getting paid, can you pay your bills?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. Anyone else in that row? Juror in seat number 9. Do you get paid, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
All right, and if you're not getting paid, can you pay your bills?
Yes, ma'am.
You can? Okay. Folks, when I ask you if you can pay your bills, let me clarify something. I'm not asking you if you can do it and stress yourself out. I'm asking you if you can comfortably pay your bills. All right? So is there anyone who wants to change their answer? Nope? Okay, thank you. Jurors in seats 16 through 22. Anyone whose employer does not pay them? All right, juror in seat 17. Does your employer pay you when you're in jury duty?
One does, but one doesn't.
Okay, so you have 2 jobs?
Yes.
All right, the one that doesn't, if you're not getting that income, can you make ends meet?
Negative.
All right, thank you. Juror in seat 18. Does your employer pay you?
No, I'm currently, I just finished a project, so I actually have to look for another job now in order to make income.
Are you doing contract work?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long does it normally take you to get the next contract?
It can be till next year, so I have to find a side job for now.
Okay. Can you pay your bills without the income that you've got?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Juror in seat number 19, does your employer pay you?
I'm retired.
You're retired?
Yes.
Good for you. Would it cause any kind of a financial hardship to be here?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Juror in seat 22.
Yes, Your Honor. I also hold 2 jobs. One does and one doesn't.
All right, the one that doesn't, if you don't have that income, can you pay your bills?
It may be a bit of a strain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Seats 23 through 30. Seat 24, yes, sir.
My employer covers the first week. If this went the full 3 weeks, 2 weeks of lost wages would be a financial hardship for me.
All right, thank you, sir. So you paid the first week, but it would 2 weeks, no pay would be too much. Juror in seat 27, yes, ma'am.
I'm currently interning for the position I'm hoping to be hired for. So, and I'm not getting paid. And my internship ends in a week or two to determine whether I'm going to be hired or not.
So if you had it interrupted to serve 3 weeks on a jury, does that mean that you would lose that job?
Highly likely, ma'am.
Okay. I'm sorry. My attention is always commanded by 2 or 3 things at one time. All right, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
Juror in seat 28, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry?
I'm self-employed.
Okay. So do you have any employees?
No, it's just me.
So if you're not working for 3 weeks, are you making any money?
No.
Can you pay your bills?
No.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anyone else in that row?
Yes,
Juror in seat 29, yes, ma'am.
I'm a housewife. I just stay at home, I don't work.
Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else in that room? All right, jurors in seat 31 through 37. All right, 31. Do you get paid, ma'am?
Yes, I'm contract. No, it would not be a financial hardship to be here even through 3 weeks.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Juror in seat 32, yes, sir.
I'm self-employed.
Okay. Do you have any employees?
Nope.
So if you're not working, are you making any money?
Nope.
If you're not working for 3 weeks, can you pay your bills?
Mm-mm.
Is that a no?
No.
All right, thank you. Next, juror in seat 33. Yes, ma'am. Do you get paid if you're not working?
Yes.
Or I'm sorry, if you're in jury duty?
Yes.
You do? All right. Thank you. Juror in seat, is that 34? Yes, ma'am.
34.
Do you get paid if you're on jury duty?
No.
And can you pay your bills if you're not getting paid?
No, I'm self-employed. I have 5 employees.
Can your employees do the job?
No.
What do you do, ma'am?
I'm a dentist.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would not want you to hand that off to your employees, personally. Thank you. All right, anybody else in that row? Jurors in seat 38 through 45. Anybody who doesn't get paid, starting with 38. Yes, sir. Okay. Is it a financial hardship for you to be here?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. Juror in seat 41 is next, I think. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I do not get paid.
Can
by
you pay
being
your
here.
bills if you're not getting paid?
I can.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Juror in seat 42. Yes, sir. All right, do you have any employees? And what do you do, sir? Okay. Can your employees do the job while you're not there? I'm not going to ask any other questions, sir. Can you pay your bills if you're not there?
Sorry, miss.
Can you pay your bills if you're not there? All right, thank you. And 45, yes, ma'am. Do you get paid by your employer?
No.
Can you pay your bills?
I can, but 3 weeks I'm an administrator, which makes it difficult to run an organization.
What organization?
I'm an RN. I'm in charge of clinical.
Are you an RN at a doctor's office?
No, it's a home care agency.
Okay. All right. And I'm sorry, I know you just told me this, but I got caught up in what you do. Do you get paid? You don't get paid, but you can pay your bills.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Jurors in seats 46 through 52, anyone who doesn't get paid. Juror in seat 47. Yes, sir. Do you get paid?
So my employer does not pay me.
Okay. Can
Yeah.
you pay your bills?
I cannot. My wife doesn't start her employment till the 26th of October. So currently I cannot pay the bills.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else in that row? Jurors in seats 53 through 60. Anyone who does not get paid? All right, jurors number 53. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
I'm a full-time student at the University of Central Florida.
Okay. Are you asking to be exempted?
Just because I do have classes throughout Monday and Thursday, throughout Monday through Thursday, and a couple of them are like with points that are required for me to be there.
And are you online or in person?
In person.
Okay, thank you, sir. Jurors, who's next? 57? Yes, sir.
I will not get.
And can you pay your bills if you're not getting paid?
I don't. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
No, I would not be able to.
All right, thank you, sir. Who's next? 58? Do you get paid?
No, I do not get paid.
Can you pay your bills?
No, I cannot.
All right, thank you, sir. 59? Do you get paid?
No, I don't.
Can you pay your bills? All right, thank you, sir. And 60, do you get paid, sir?
No.
Can you pay your bills?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much. Anybody I missed? All right, is there anyone on the panel who has difficulty with understanding English? 23? All right, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, no English, no understand.
No English? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? All right, I don't see any other panels. Anyone who has any medical issues that would make it difficult for them to sit as jurors? We do take breaks every hour to hour and a half. Juror in seat number 3. Let's get you a mic. Yes, sir. It's on.
I have a nerve problem. Sitting for hours causes me a lot of pain.
Okay, like I said, we normally
I can
take...
stand up and move around and stuff like that. It's okay, but
Okay. Well, and we normally take a break every hour to hour and a half when we're in trial. Would that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, do you have to take any, hold on, give him back. People want to get rid of that mic so
No.
fast. Do you take any medications for that? No? So you're,
I have a TENS unit, but I don't use it all the time, just whenever
Okay.
that's up.
all right, thank you. Anybody else? Oh, juror seat number 9. Yes, ma'am, you have a medical issue?
Yes, ma'am. I have, I have damaged nerve as well, tendonitis, and I've had a few surgeries.
Okay.
So I'm out on disability.
So you heard me say we take breaks every hour to hour and a half. Is that sufficient for you?
I guess if we're taking the breaks, it'll be okay. I'm just not going to be able to take the meds while I'm here, of course. I will not take them.
How often do you take the meds?
It's like 3 times a day on one of them, and one of them is 8 hours. It's like 3 different meds.
If you don't take the medicine, what happens?
I'm in pain right now, but I mean, I'm in pain every day. So I kind of get through it, you know. I just wanted to be known, you know.
Right. Is the pain level such, does it ever get to the point where it would distract you from what we're doing?
No, ma'am.
No?
I don't think so.
All right.
I just feel it, but it's okay.
If at any point either of you need to stand up, feel free to do that. You
Okay.
can just stand in the back of the courtroom until we ask you a question, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Anybody else who needs to talk to me? 19. Yes, sir.
Yes, I have 2 total knee replacement.
Okay, do they cause you any trouble or pain?
No, they swelled and they aches, but I can bear through it.
Would any of that cause you a problem serving as a juror?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Juror in seat 39 and then 27. Yes, sir.
I have no medical issues, but I'm on schedule to have surgery on November the 3rd.
Okay, is that a surgery? Don't tell me what it's about, but just tell me, is that a surgery that you can reschedule?
Probably can find out with my doctor.
Okay. Is it elective surgery or not elective surgery?
It's not elective surgery.
Okay. Thank you. And then 27. I knew I had another one. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I have a coccyx injury, and I see an osteopath every week, once a week.
Okay. What happens if you had to skip that appointment for?
I'm in pain right now if I don't get adjustment because it doesn't stay in place in the prolonged times of sitting position if I don't get up and exercise.
Is the hour to hour and a half break, is that sufficient for you?
I can last through it if it's necessary.
Does the pain ever reach a level where you can't concentrate?
Not often, but yeah, sometimes it does if it goes after like 2 hours and stuff.
Do you take medication for it?
Over the counter, ibuprofen.
Okay. All right. Anyone else with a medical issue that I haven't spoken to? Anyone have any hearing or sight problems? I'm not seeing any of those. All right. Everyone in this courtroom can sympathize with what happens to your desk and how much work piles up when you're in a trial. But it's not considered a legal reason to excuse folks from jury duty. So listen carefully to the question I'm asking you. Is there anyone who has a project at work or some issue at work that you're the only person who can take care of it and resolve it? All right, let me start with 12. Are you in or out on this one? You're in? Okay. So number 12. Yes, sir.
My entire team's brand new, so I'm pretty much the sole provider of direction. 3 weeks would be a long time.
All right, so what would happen if you were here for 3 weeks?
A lot of financial issues, probably, scheduling issues. Definitely wouldn't get done.
Okay. Who? 15. Yes, ma'am. I'm just going to call this by row. I think it'd be easier. Yes, ma'am.
A large population at work, so it would be a hardship to miss 3 weeks of work.
I didn't hear the first part of what you said.
I work with a large population at work.
And what happens when you're on vacation?
We have coverage from other members of our team who also have responsibilities.
Okay, thank you. Anyone from 1 to 7? No. All right, 5, yeah. I'm going to go by rows, folks, because I have too many folks popping up. Yes, ma'am. What's your issue?
I'm in the midst of getting a promotion at work, and if I miss 3 weeks of work, I will definitely lose out on it.
When will you know if you got the promotion?
By the end of October, beginning of November.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. All right, so I got everybody from 8 to 15, 16 through 22, 23 through 30, juror in seat 26 and 28. 26, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I am a sales administrative and marketing director for an insurance company. And this is our busy season with our trade shows, golf tournaments, etc. So that's my primary job, is to set those up so there's not anyone else that is either willing to do it or can do it.
Okay. Is there any of that you can do online?
No, ma'am. It's all in person.
And who's going to do it if you're not there?
Nobody's going to do it.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Somebody else raised their hand. 28, yes, ma'am.
I'm self-employed, and so all the projects, all the meetings, everything is just me. So all of those happen throughout the day, and so I wouldn't be able to, I would lose out on wages and not be able to pay my bills.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? All right, 31 through 37, juror number 33.
Yes, I don't have any office project, but I have a premature grandson that I'm taking care of because the mom is a nurse.
I haven't gotten to that yet, ma'am. This is just work, okay? Do you have any work issues?
No.
All right, thank you. Juror in seat number 34, do you have your paddle? Okay.
Yes.
What do you have, ma'am? You're the dentist.
Yes, I'm
I've already
dentist.
got yours down. All right,
Okay,
thanks.
thank
Juror in seat 36.
Yes,
sir.
I'm the Dean of Science at Valencia College, and I have deadlines. Yes, I'm the Dean of Science at Valencia College, and I have deadlines for tenure for committees that I'm the one who chairs these committees, and I'm the only person who can do that.
What are the deadlines?
I have they're already scheduled. Actually, I don't have them on the top of my head.
Okay. Are they October and November scheduled?
Every single month.
And can you have these committee meetings after we're done here by Zoom?
I don't know, because the faculty members who are on these committees, who are dependent upon the committees, are not always available. These are scheduled with faculty members who are very difficult to schedule meetings for,
Okay.
especially in short term.
Thank you. Anybody else in that row? 37, yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm the Vice President of Human Resources for a hotel company, and I'm the only one who does the benefits renewal each year. For benefits renewal, open enrollment, and it starts in the end of October through November. And I'm the only person in the HR, so I'm the only person that can handle it.
Okay, thank you. $38 through 45. 42. You're self-employed with the employees that aren't that great, right? I made a note.
Wow, that's a tough one.
Is there anything that you want me to add?
My concern, honestly, is I answer my own phones and no one would be able to answer.
All right, thank you. Juror in seat number 45.
I would have to get the owners to come into town to run the office if I'm out for any length of time.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Jurors in seats 46 through 52. 51. Yes, ma'am.
Closing of a house on October 26th.
You're closing on your house on October 25th?
26th.
Okay, thank you. 50. Yes, ma'am.
I work in like a computer system, and on my team, I know how to use it best. It's not impossible to train someone. I would just have to do that in advance.
Okay. All right, thanks, ma'am. Jurors in seats 53 through 60. I don't have anyone. All right. Just to vary things, I'm going to start in the back row. 53 through 60. Anyone who has a vacation that is already scheduled in either October or November and has been paid for? No one. 46 through 52, vacation already paid for. 52.
My son is getting married on November 8th, so I have vacation before and after that, and family coming into town.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? 49.
October 31st. I have family visiting over.
Your what?
I have family.
You have family visiting? Remember, if you hold the mic to your side, it's actually easier.
I have family visiting over.
On October 31st?
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, 31 through 37. Anybody got a vacation that's already paid for? 38 through 45, vacation already paid for. 41, yes, ma'am.
I have a vacation starting the 25th.
Of October. And how long?
Just 3 days.
To the 28th?
Yes.
Already paid for?
Yes.
Where are you going?
New York.
Oh. Thank you. Anybody else? 16 through 22, vacation already paid for. 23 through 30. Juror in seat 27. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to Miami from 22nd through 25th. It's a family vacation. And yes, I paid for it.
Thank you. Jurors in seats 1 through 7. 1 and 2. Yes, ma'am.
I am going to Costa Rica on November the 4th for a week.
That sounds lovely. All right. And, sir, is your vacation as exciting as hers?
I hope so. Family's going on a cruise for Thanksgiving week down in Western Caribbean.
Okay. What date? What are the dates? Can't remember?
My phone's off. It's the Thanksgiving week.
Thanksgiving week?
Yep.
Thank you. Anybody else in that row? And then 8 through 15, vacation already scheduled and paid for. Juror in seat number 12. Yes, sir.
I have a cruise as well, the week before Thanksgiving.
Okay. Anybody else? Juror in seat 46.
So it's less of a vacation, but I have an event scheduled November 4th.
Can't hear you. What?
So I have an event scheduled November 4th through November 6th.
What event is
it's
that?
It's a triathlon event, and it's already been paid for with a hotel.
Is it here?
It is in Panama City, Florida.
So are you participating in the triathlon?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Anyone else? All right. Does anyone have any child care or dependent adult, meaning if you're responsible, for example, for your adult or for your parents, or you're responsible for an adult child who has special needs? Let me go by rows. 1 through 7, juror in seat 5. Yes, ma'am.
I have to babysit my 2 younger cousins 4 times a week from like 2 p.m. until late at night.
What happens if you're not able to babysit them?
Nobody else is in my house because they're all working, so there wouldn't be anyone to watch the children.
How old are they?
They are 6 and 4.
Are their parents working?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Juror in seat number 6. Yes, ma'am.
I have a 4-month-old, and I also have a 12-year-old who I get to and from school. And I also provide transportation for my niece and nephew, who is 6 and 5.
The 4-month-old, are you staying home right now? Are you on leave?
No, I work, but
Okay.
I drop her and her sister off to school in the morning, and her dad picks them up after. So it's a problem with him because he works for Orange County, so he has to be to work early, and no one else can drop them off to school.
You don't have anybody else who could do it?
No.
All right. All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else in that row? 8 through 15, child care or dependent issue. Juror in seat number 10.
Yes, I have 2 kids, 4 and 10, and my husband travels for work from Sunday through Wednesdays, so I don't have anybody to take care of them.
So is there anyone else who could take over for you?
No, I have only my mother-in-law here, but she works, so she wouldn't be able to pick him up at school.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Who else in that row? 13. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So mother has a procedure that has scheduled for October the 26th. And after the procedure, she will likely have to be in bed for the next 2 days or so. And I'm the only person that can take care of her. So
How old
that
is
would
your-
be a
how
problem.
old's your mom?
She's 60.
60? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? All right. Jurors 16 through 22, child care or dependent. Juror seat number 20. Yes, ma'am.
I have an 18-year-old daughter with special needs.
Okay. She live at home with you?
Yes.
Are you her primary caretaker?
Yes.
Is there anyone that can take over for you for 3 weeks?
No, because she's a girl and her husband, my husband is there, but because of, daily care, I would have to help her.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. 23 through 30, child care. 24. Yes, sir.
My wife and I have 2 kids under the age of 3.
and she's a attorney for the state of Florida and also has a court schedule that sometimes runs late or starts early, and so we split responsibility for drop off and pick up from daycare.
Okay, how old are your children? I'm sorry.
4 months and 2.5 years. And we don't unfortunately have family in the area to help take care.
Okay, thank you, sir. Who else? 26. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know that it will be an issue, but I do have a 12-year-old son that I am responsible for getting to and from school. My husband is a construction manager for the hospital, and so capital meetings are typically after hours and the doctor's office is closed, so it's not a guarantee that I'd be able to have him assist.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. 29. Yes, ma'am.
I have a 15-year-old daughter that I have to get to and from school, and my husband has a big job and sometimes is in meetings and can't be there, so I don't really have anyone else to get her.
See, your husband can't do it because of what?
He has trouble. He's got a pretty big, important job, so it's hard for him sometimes to make it, but I think he could try. We could probably try to figure it out.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else in that row? All right, 31 through 37. Juror number 33.
Yes, I
Yes,
have
ma'am.
a grandson that I'm taking care of. The mom works and the dad works too, and he's a small boy.
So how old's your son, ma'am?
Grandson is
Your grandson, how old is he?
He's 6 months now. He's premature, but he's 6 months now.
All right, thank you. Anybody else in that row? 38 through 45. 46 through 52. 51. Yes, ma'am. I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
I'm a single parent of a 6-year-old.
2-year-old?
6.
6-year-old, sorry. Do you have any family in town that can help?
No.
All right, thank you. 53 through 60. Nope. All right, folks, does anyone have an issue that I have not asked about that would make it difficult for you to serve as a juror in this case? Juror in seat number 5. Yes, ma'am.
I am also a student, so I have to be in class in person every Friday, and if I miss any of those classes, 2 absences is a fail.
Are you full-time or part-time?
Part-time.
You're part-time?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. Juror in seat 25.
My dad's 95. He has congestive heart failure, so I visit him every day. I would want to be there.
Thank you, ma'am. Juror in seat 27.
I'm also currently studying for the law school admission test, and it's going to be conducted on the November 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. It hasn't been scheduled for sure yet, so that's also coming up.
You're talking about the LSATs?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And you're taking those when?
So the day is 13th through 16th, but the schedule has not been open yet to schedule it for a determined date. And that's what I'm studying for.
Are you all doing those online?
Currently, yes.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. Juror in seat 31, and then
I'm not sure if it's going to be an issue or not. I am on the autism spectrum. I have facial recognition blindness, which means I'm not going to be able to tell anyone apart.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Juror seat 38, yes, sir.
I do have a health issue that, depending on the outcome, I could possibly have surgery, depending on the outcome of the procedure I have coming up.
Or do you have something some appointment or something currently scheduled to determine that?
Yes, a PET scan,
When is that, sir?
Wednesday.
This Wednesday coming up?
Yes.
Thank you. Someone else raised a paddle. Juror in seat 50.
I'm also a student. I'm getting my MBA currently. I'm also a student. I'm getting my MBA while working as well. So it's not impossible to do, but it would just be an added strain.
Can you do your MBA work after hours on a computer?
I can. The only problem is MBA program projects for some reason. So I just have a lot of group commitments, but I could change with them to do later times.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anybody else that I missed? All right, folks, I did forget to ask you all one question. Do any of the jurors know each other? Yep. Wow. I mean, this happens frequently, but not this many. All right, so number 5, who do you know?
Remember his number, but one of the jurors in the back is...
Number 58?
Yes, he's one of my old coworkers.
He's one of your coworkers?
My previous coworkers. I worked with him for over a year.
Any issues that would cause for you serving as a juror, number 5?
No, I don't believe so.
How about you, number 58? All right, that was a no. I could hear that one. Who else knows each other? 19 and 21. Do you know each other? Or no? Okay. All right, 21. Tell me how you all know each other.
We go to the same gym.
Okay. Do you work out together?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything about that relationship that would make you uncomfortable serving as jurors together?
No, ma'am.
Even if you were disagreeing about things?
No, ma'am, we'd be fine.
How about you? Who was it? 19. Yes, sir. Would you be uncomfortable serving with number 21?
No, ma'am.
All right. Which one of you can bench press more? I'm just kidding. You don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer that. All right. All right, folks. I don't have anybody else? I don't have any. 11. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Number 1. I think it's number 1.
You know,
Debbie.
juror number 1?
We used to work together.
You did what? I'm sorry?
We used to work together.
Would you be uncomfortable serving
No.
on a jury with her? Number 1, would you be uncomfortable serving on a jury with number 11? Do you remember her? Any problem being on a jury with her? All right. All right, folks. Thank you all very much. We're going to send you out in the hallway for about 10 minutes. We'll bring you back in just a second. Thank you. Don't worry, you're going to get to go to lunch after that. Leave your paddles in your chairs. Did I see one? No, what happened now? Dear God, do I want to? Oh, about the second one? Yeah. No, but I still find that hysterically funny. I don't want to, I can't ask the question to an entire panel. All right. Juror in seat number 1 has a vacation.